Hello students, as we are done with first chapter, that is our living world, and today we are going to discuss some of the MCQs related with this chapter only. First question is, which two of the below given points are known as the twin characteristics of growth? So the options, they are increase in mass, increase in number of individuals, cellular organization, and cellular differentiation. Increase in mass and increase in number of individuals, it is the twin characteristics of growth. So the option will be A. Both the statements, increase in mass and increase in number of individuals, they are correct. Second is, in plants, cell division occurs, whereas in animals, it occurs dash. We know that growth is different in animals and plants. It is because of a tissue that is called as meristematic tissue. In plants, growth is restricted to certain regions and it is throughout the life. However, in animals, growth is uniform and it is up to a certain period of life. So the options are only up to a certain age, and second point is continuously. B, continuously only up to a certain age. C, continuously, and D, only up to a certain age, only up to a certain age. So the correct option will be B. In plants, cell division occurs continuously, whereas in animals, it occurs up to a certain period of life. Next, we are coming to the third MCQ. Here we have to match the column first with column second and select the correct option from the codes given below. So, what is given? The asexual mode of reproduction is given. Planaria will be having regeneration. Fungus, spore formation. Yeast, budding. And amoeba, binary fission. Right? So likewise, you can select the option, and here the correct option will be B. Right? Planaria will be having regeneration. Fungus will have the asexual spores. Yeast will be having budding, and amoeba will be having the binary fission. Now the fourth question is, the statement, nothing lives forever, yet life continues, illustrates the role of embryogenesis, replication, morphogenesis, and reproduction. And the correct option will be D, reproduction. It is because of the reproduction, life continues. It is because of the reproduction, life exists, and the germplasm, it is maintained. Right? Next question, which of the following group consists of organisms which multiply by fragmentation? Fragmentation is an asexual mode of reproduction which occurs in algae, moss, and the other organisms. So the correct option will be C. Right? It occurs in filamentous algae, that is called as Spirogyra, fungus, and the protonema of mosses. Alright, in bryophytes also the fragmentation occurs. So again a point to be remembered. Next question is, which of the following organisms do not reproduce? Reproduction is not considered as the definite property or the characteristic. And this is the reason because some of the living beings, they are not able to reproduce as well, whatever the reason may be, right? So mules, worker bees, and infertile human couples, all three, they are not able to reproduce. So the option will be D. Correct option will be D. They are not able to reproduce. Next, read the following statements and select the correct option. Statement 1. Reproduction cannot be considered as defining property of living organisms. And statement 2. There are many living organisms which do not reproduce: mules, worker bees, and infertile human couples. And both the options, they are correct. Right? So here you will be discussing the question where 4 options they are given, and the correct option will be both statements 1 and 2 are correct. Next question. Which of the following statements regarding the response of living organism to external stimuli is correct? A option. The external environmental stimuli can be physical, chemical, or biological. Option B. All organisms from prokaryotes to the most complex eukaryotes can sense and respond to environmental stimuli. Option third. Consciousness and response to external stimuli is defining property of living organisms. D is all of these. So, all the 3 statements as A, B, and C, they are correct for the control and coordination in the living organisms. Right? All the 3 statements here, they are correct. And therefore, the correct option will be D. All of these. Because stimuli can be physical, chemical, or biological. All the living organisms, they are able to respond, and consciousness and response to external stimuli is the defining property of living organisms. Read the following statements and select the correct ones. Increase in mass and increase in number of individuals are twin characteristics of growth. Metabolic reactions can be demonstrated outside the body in isolated cell-free systems. Response to stimuli is a defining property of living organisms. Again, a very good question it is. The ability to respond is it is considered as the defining property of living organisms. And also, first statement, that is increase in mass and number, it is the twin characteristic of growth. And metabolic reactions, which are the living reactions, they can be demonstrated outside the body in isolated cell-free systems as living reactions only. So again, all the 3 statements, they are correct. So the correct option will be first, second, and third. Now we are coming to the next question. A living organism is unexceptionally differentiated from a non-living structure on the basis of reproduction, growth and movement, interaction with the environment, and responsiveness. And the correct option will be responsiveness. Right? So this is how you will be giving the correct option as D. Which of the following sets does not contain defining characteristic of living organisms? Growth and reproduction, metabolism and cellular level of organization, response to stimuli and consciousness, all of these. And the correct option will be growth and reproduction. Growth and reproduction, they are the characteristics of the living organisms, but they are not considered as the defining property, as growth can occur in mountain also. However, the growth in the non-living beings, that is by the external deposition or force only, but still they are able to grow, and this is the reason it is not considered as a defining property. Reproduction, where the living beings, some of the living beings, they are not able to reproduce, as we have discussed earlier. So this is the reason both growth and reproduction, they are not considered as the defining property. Now we are coming to the next question. Which of the following is the correct representation of organization levels in living beings? And the correct option will be B, atomic, molecular, subcellular, cellular, tissue, organ system, and individual. Here organ is not given, so we can come directly to the organ system, and this is what the correct hierarchy is. Next question is, dash is a branch of science dealing with identification, nomenclature, and classification of living organisms, and correct option will be taxonomy, right? It is the branch where we identify and name the organism, and after that it can be categorized into groups based on the similarities, right? In our classes, in our videos, we have discussed for the different categories to which the organisms they are placed. Next question, first step in taxonomy is, taxonomy is the art of classification, categorization on the basis of the similarities, but interestingly, the first step of taxonomy is identification. So nothing can happen if we are not able to identify that organism. So identification of the organism is the first step in taxonomy. Next question we are coming to ICBN. ICBN is International Code of Botanical Nomenclature. Same as ICZN, International Code of Zoological Nomenclature. Likewise, the organisms, they are named as per the set guidelines. So here the plants, they are named, and the correct option will be B. Next is founder of binomial nomenclature was, and the correct option will be Linnaeus, Carolus Linnaeus, right? And the binomial nomenclature, it is the system of scientific naming where each name consists of two terms. First is coming from the genus, and the second one is coming from the species, and there is a rule for the writing of the scientific name which we have discussed in our classes. Next question is, Linnaeus system of classification was based on, and the correct option will be morphology as per the outer structure. Morphology is the outer structure of a living organism. So that classification was based on the outer structure. Next question is, most names in biological nomenclature of living organisms are taken from which language? And the correct option will be Latin. So Latin is the correct option, where most of the names, they are coming from the Latin language. Plants were given Latin names because it is a simple language, common language, dead language, and none of these. So the correct option will be dead language. So no chances for the changes in this language. In the binomial system of taxonomy developed during 18th century by Carolus Linnaeus, the second word of an organism's biological names represents species. So in the scientific name, the second name is coming from the species, and this is how we can give the answer for, right? So the correct option will be species. Next, which of the following statements regarding the universal rules of biological nomenclature is incorrect? I am reading the statements here. Biological names are either derived from Latin language or are Latinized. The first word in a biological name represents the genus, while the second component denotes the species. Third statement, both the words in a biological name, when handwritten, are separately underlined or printed in italics to indicate their Latin origin. Fourth statement, the specific epithet starts with a capital letter while the generic epithet starts with a small letter. It may be illustrated with the example of Mangifera indica. Right? So, here the question was, which of the following statements regarding the universal rules of biological nomenclature is incorrect? And the correct option will be D. Because here specific epithet, it is written as it will start with a capital letter, but ideally the first term which is coming from the genus will be starting from the capital letter. So this will be the incorrect statement. Next is, select the correctly written botanical or zoological name. First is given as Homo sapiens, second is Pisum sativum, third is Panthera tigris, and fourth is Mangifera indica. Ideally, all the scientific name which are given, out of them, this B is correct only, right? Because the other three, they are having the lack of the following of rules here. S should be small, Pisum sativum should be italicized, and here I should be small. So Panthera tigris is written as right. Okay, next is, select the correct option for biological names. They are binomial, they are universal, they are descriptive, all of these. And the correct option will be D, all of these. So we are coming to the next question. The scientific name of banyan is written as Ficus bengalensis. Which of the following statements is correct regarding this? Letter L signifies Latin language. The name should be written reverse with bengalensis preceding Ficus. Letter L signifies the taxonomist Linnaeus. Bengalensis is a generic name. And the correct option will be this letter, it signifies the name of the taxonomist. So C will be the correct option. Right? And the other three options, A, B and D, they are not correct. Bengalensis, it is the species name. Right? And L also doesn't signify Latin language, and it should not be written in reverse. So the next question is, third name in trinomial nomenclature is, and the correct option will be subspecies. So first is genus, second one is species, and if it should be further categorized, so the other group will be for subspecies. Classification systems have many advantages. Which of the following is not a goal of biological classification? To depict convergent evolution, to clarify relationships among organisms, to help us remember organisms and their trait, and to identify and name organisms. And the correct option will be A. Classification systems is useful in so many ways, and the advantages they are given as, but here this is not the significant function of the classification system. That is key, it depicts the convergent evolution, to depict the convergent evolution. So this will be the incorrect statement. It will be not a goal. Next one, the main objective of plant taxonomy is to study the world's flora, to provide a method for identification and nomenclature, to provide Latin scientific names for every group of plants in the world, all of these. And again, all the three statements, they are written as right. This is what the significance of taxonomy. It is there to study the world's flora, to provide a method for identification and nomenclature, and to provide Latin scientific names for every group of plants in the world. Next question is, the main purpose for the classification of organism is study geography, locate plants and animals, establish relationships amongst organisms, study evolution. And the correct option will be C. The classification is done to have the relationship between the different groups or the different organisms. So this is what the main purpose of the categorization of the organisms, to see the relationship between the different groups of organisms. Who wrote Species Plantarum and provided a basis for the classification of plants? And correct option will be Carolus Linnaeus. He provides a basis for the classification of plants. Next question, or the last one, is Carolus Linnaeus belonged to France, Germany, Sweden and Holland. And the correct options will be Sweden. So Carolus Linnaeus belonged to Sweden. So we are done with 30 MCQs for the chapter. We will be starting the next chapter in our upcoming videos, and in between we will be doing the revision also for the topics which are covered. So this is for now, and we will meet in the next video. Have a great day.